Hello and welcome back to another episode of your new favorite podcast. I say new, but we're like 3 or 4 episodes in already. Still new to you, still new to some listeners out there. But Safessa's one and only service hero Toolbox. Here we are again today with my awesome, beloved co-host, Mr. Nick Cribb, president of Safessa and president of Sam Service. Hey, Nick, how you doing today, bud?
Doing great. You look especially jacked today, Zolan. I'm proud of you, man. You're looking good.
Thank you, man. I do what I can. I got the light back here. I'm going for the silhouette look, just so you can see the bumps. That's
You're
all.
Nailing it, bro.
Well, we've got an awesome guest today. I'm really excited to talk to her. A big role in our industry, and several people in our industry may already know her, but Miss Allison Rezendes, please introduce yourself to our audience for those who don't know you. And if you could just explain a little bit of who you are, what your role is in FER, and kind of how you got there, that would be awesome.
Sure. Thanks, Josh. And hi, Nick. Thanks for having me on the podcast today. So I'm Allison Rezendes. I'm Chief Content Officer for FER Media and Editor-in-Chief of Foodservice Equipment Reports. So let's see. We have a print magazine that comes out bi-monthly. We have newsletters and we have website. And our goal is to help food service equipment supply and equipment specifiers do their jobs well. That's what we try to do every day. How I got here. So it's kind of a fun story. When I was at Columbia College Chicago, Robin Ashton, the former publisher of FER, was a guest speaker in my trade magazine class, and he mentioned there was an internship, and so I applied. So that was early 2000s. So that's how I got into this industry. I worked there as an editor for a few years, and then left to actually work for a veterinary magazine, and then ended up coming back, and I've been back for about the past 11 years. So working my way through a freelance writer to a managing editor to editor-in-chief.
Very good.
Wow, fantastic. A veterinary magazine.
Yeah.
Is that another passion?
Animals, sure. Not necessarily to be a veterinarian though.
Sure. No, gotcha. I'm kind of the same way. I love animals, but I don't want to see them sick. So
no kidding.
All right, very cool. That's awesome. So you started as an intern, worked your way up, moved out of the position into the veterinary magazine, and then back. How long were you out?
I think so. About 3 years for the veterinary magazine, and then I actually did the stay-at-home mom thing for a few years, and then started writing again for FER, and then just gradually worked my way up to where I am now. So I guess I was out for probably about 6 years doing other things, and then came back.
All right, very cool. Well, you must have really enjoyed what you do at FER to be gone for 6 years and then come back to it. How did you end up coming back, if you don't mind me asking?
No, not at all. So Beth Lorenzini, who was the editor-in-chief at the time, she hired me to do a bunch of writing for her. And so it worked out really well. With the kids being really little, I was still able to do those writing assignments. The kids got older, and I had more of my time back, and so took the opportunity to go back full time, and so have been full time for a good while, 7 years maybe. So.
Very good, very, very good. Okay, so for those who, most of our audience probably knows what FER is, but for those who don't, can you kind of explain a little bit about what FER is and how it helps the food service equipment industry?
Sure. So at Foodservice Equipment Reports, we really just focus on helping those operators who oversee equipment and supply specification do their jobs well. So our primary audience are operators. We do also have readers who are dealers. We have service agents, consultants, and manufacturers reps. So we have a really healthy balance of different types of stories. So we do equipment comparisons where we take a particular equipment category and just do a deep dive research. We interview all the manufacturers and we get what is a really useful guide So for example, if you needed to specify a region refrigerator, we would tell you everything that is new, all the product developments that have come about in the past few years. And then we walk you through how to specify so that, we know that these operators are spending a really good amount of money putting this equipment in their stores. And so we try to educate them as best as we can to help them make the right decision. We also do kitchen design stories where we kind of, through examples, showcase a project and how, so for example, the one that we're doing in our next issue is on the Hyatt Regency in Salt Lake City, Utah. And so that was done by Rika Design Studios. And we just kind of walk through the design challenges that the consultants ran into and how they overcame them. Some of the really cool equipment that is in that project. So those are like some different features we do, but then we have a whole new section. So we cover the industry, in our newsletters, on our website, and then also in the print magazine.
Wow, that's cool. How long has it been around?
Let's see. I want to say 26 or 27 years.
Very cool. Seems like a very valuable resource for people in our industry in particular.
Thank you.
Yeah, and trusted too, right? I mean, getting those perspectives that, it's kind of aimed at like you said, the operators, but it's good for us as service agents at Safesa to know like what's important to them, because if we're not solving their problems and we're not knowing the pressure points that they're trying to deal with, we're kind of one step behind. So it's always good to have people who are chasing, I know you said your goal was to help Foodservice do their jobs well. And I think you guys do a really good job of achieving that goal, quarter after quarter. So
thanks, Nick. Yeah, we do have maintenance features as well, where we interview service agents. I guess I forgot to mention that. So along with the equipment comparisons and the design stories we also do maintenance features. And so that's when we have a chance to work with two service agents such as yourself to kind of get all the advice that you have available to take care of certain equipment categories. And so that's also a big part of our editorial.
Very cool. I like to see such a niche targeted product. I mean, it's so beneficial for everybody in this industry, to your point, right? Operators and service agents alike, Nick, to be able to understand what's important to the people that we serve is just invaluable. So very good stuff. But we could gush about FER all day, and how trusted and fantastic it is. But I do want to move on. There's a couple other things that I think that our members are going to be very interested in. So I want to give a special shout out to one of Safesa's board members, Miss Katie Green, right, who is speaking at Mufas this year. And I don't know how many people out there exactly know what that is. So I want to give you this opportunity to explain it to the audience, whoever might be listening, as to what Mufas is and how it can benefit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so for service agents out there who haven't heard of Mufas, so it's like a live version of our magazine. So Mufas stands for the Multi-Unit Food Service Equipment Symposium. We've been hosting this meeting since 2002. Funny enough, the first one was in Salt Lake City, Utah, which I just referenced is the design story in our next issue. But so this meeting, where we have Katie Green, she's going to come talk about how operators can minimize downtime. So what it is our core audience are operators. We also have manufacturers who are our sponsors. But then we also have professionals from the industry. So that could be the service agents, that could be consultants, and anybody else who might like to attend. And what it is it's a 3-day meeting, and we have a day of tours. We have 2 full days of education program. And that's the part that I oversee. We have 10 sessions, and I'm along with my managing editor, Lauren Coughlin, we find the speakers and the topics for those sessions. Actually, Nick came and spoke at Mufas last year with John Schwint. They talked about how to minimize equipment downtime. So thanks for being there, Nick.
Yeah.
So what else could I say? So I guess for service agents, the appeal might be to you really get to know everybody at this meeting, because it's really only about 150 people at the most. And you do spend all 3 days together. So what I hear from time and time again are the working relationships that people create at this meeting. So that's the value to the service agents, is you'll really get to know these operators. And, the manufacturers are there too, and that can always be helpful in doing your job, to get to know the manufacturers better as well.
Yeah, I know I can say from my experience being there as an attendee and as a speaker that's one of the key takeaways that I had, was how intimate it was, right? Mm-hmm. It wasn't, sometimes at these conferences, man, as awesome as RIFMA and NAFM and NRA is, it's 20,000 people, and it was really cool to show up at Mufas and have these decision makers at a table. It reminds me of when me and Schwint stepped off the stage. We kind of went and sat down at a table, we're having a coffee, and people just came up to us popcorn style, and we had to have we had the opportunity to have really progressive conversations. So, if you're a service agent, you're looking to kind of get into the details a little bit more and have more room to have just deeper conversations, rather than the flyby that can be other places at times. You're usually trying to set up meetings for later in these other big conferences, where I felt like at Mufas we had the opportunity to do it right there. And another thing that I saw there too, there was a state of the business that was given. I see y'all are doing that again. State of the food service industry, incredibly valuable. A lot of times in service, in our silo of service, we can get so focused on what's important to us, what's the state of food service repair and installation, that it's really good to hear from other people what maybe a little bit higher level, honestly, globally, and all 5 families together saying, here's how we see the future of food service working out in the industry right now. It was a value add for me, for sure. And we got to play golf when we started out. And it's one of the coolest golf courses I ever played on. Road runners running around out there. It was amazing. So y'all did a good job with the tournament as well.
Oh, good. Awesome. I love hearing that. That's great.
That's awesome. One of these days, I'm going to get better at golf, and I'm going to play you, Nick, and we're going to see what happens.
You don't have to get much better.
Oh, you haven't seen me play, my friend. But so you said there's 10 sessions. You said 10 education sessions. Can you shed a little light into maybe a couple of those, and what they are and how valuable they could be?
Sure. Let's see. I think maybe for the service agents in the audience, I think they would really enjoy the 2 presentations that we're going to have from the Food Service Technology Center. So that's Richard Young and David Sabrowski. And they're some of my favorite people in the industry. They are a third-party resource out in California, and they just live and breathe food service equipment. So I'm excited about those 2 sessions. We have Steve Weiss, who is on the NAFM TLC. He's going to talk about refrigeration, because and I'm sure everybody can relate, but that's just an ever-changing, the rules and regulations around refrigeration just really are hard to get a grasp on. So he's going to come and just tell us what is happening and what to expect coming up this year. We have leading off is Chef Maria Mason, who is a local celebrity in Tucson. She's very well known for her salsas, and she's just super passionate about food service. She has a restaurant in Tucson, and she's going to kick things off. And so I'm really excited to welcome her there. And then, like Nick said, we have Technomic coming in. They're going to give a state of the industry presentation. Another thing, I know you were talking, Nick, about kind of how it's helpful to have a big picture view. We have Raphael LaRue from a design company called Live It, and they are a global design firm. And I've been watching some of their presentations on YouTube, and it's just really cool to see some of the design things that are happening in other countries that I really don't get to know about in my day-to-day life. So he's going to come and give a really great global perspective of what's happening as far as food service design. So.
Yeah, those perspectives are really, really solid, because sometimes we follow what they do, sometimes they follow what we do, but it's good to just have it in an open forum and talking about it. Another thing I thought I caught a glimpse of on the agenda was robots. Did I see robots we're going to be talking about there? Yeah. That's right in our wheelhouse. That's a big topic for us at Safesa right now. We're trying to work with the top manufacturers to make sure we're tip of the spear on bringing what basic training and understanding of that looks like, because once they're in the kitchen, right, they're going to call us if there's an issue. So I was excited to see that made its way on the agenda as well.
Yeah, that's really something that's just bubbling up now. It's I'd love to hear what you are finding on your side, because it seems like most of the manufacturers as of right now are kind of keeping that in-house. Is that the feeling that you're getting, or?
Yeah, it seems to be that the robot people are doing the robot stuff and the food people are doing the food stuff, and they're kind of trying to tie it together.
Mhm.
And I think that's just going to have to continue to develop. And I know there's a lot of real world applications that are being troubleshot out there right now, and they're putting them in, and they just don't know what they don't know. And we've partnered with a couple of them here at Sam Service in Georgia, to where as they're having issues or they need installation, we're a part of that. But I think it's still so just early on in the game that it's like it's still gathering a lot of data, but it's coming. It's real.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I was able to catch up with a couple of them and do some interviews with some at NAFM. And you can really tell that, that's the next big thing, and it's coming quick. And to your point, Nick, a couple of them had said, right, that they're trying to figure out how to use the food service equipment agents in the repair process, whether even if it's a modular design or whatever, but trying to merge those two industries together so they mesh well. So it should be really, really great to have them, at your event as well.
Yeah, I have. I'll be moderating that panel discussion, and I have White Castle. They have a frying robot and a burger flipping robot, as well as the former Peter Cryan, who formerly oversaw equipment for Inspire Brands. So it actually service as a big component of that panel discussion, because how do you service those robots when they're in your kitchen? So, and then compliance. I think Peter was talking about how OSHA walks in and they don't know what to do with this because it's just so new. So we'll talk about that, and I'm really excited to hear, White Castle, how they're handling the service side of that.
Yeah, that should be an incredibly valuable session in particular. So I gotta ask, what's your favorite part of this event personally?
You get to see the results of a lot of hard work. The editors and we've been working on this for months and months, and then to just see it come to life on stage is very rewarding. So I look forward to that. And we have a lot of people that just come back year after year. So it's almost like a homecoming to see everybody again. So I appreciate it that way. So yeah, it'll be a good time.
That's excellent. You get a little bit of time off after the event to kind of unwind a little bit. I bet that's a lot of work leading up to it.
Yeah, it is. I'll at least take a Friday off or something. Sure.
There you go. Spoken like a trooper. I love it. That's fantastic.
Tucson's beautiful too.
Sure is.
Yeah.
Is that your neck of the woods there in Tucson, Josh?
Yeah, we've got a branch down there. It's about 2 hours south of where I'm at now. I'm up in Gilbert, Phoenix area.
Okay.
Oh, well, that would be neat if you get to swing by in a couple weeks. We have the meeting is April 20th. Though. If you're in the area, swing on by.
I'd love to. Both Nick and I are going to be in Palm Springs for the Field Service USA. We're both speaking there, but trust me, if I hadn't already booked that, I'd be hightailing it down there in a heartbeat, because this sounds fantastic.
Neat.
Well, what am I missing, Nick? Well, I'll tell you this, just Katie Green, one of our board members going and speaking on behalf of, limiting that downtime. I really do think that's just an incredible value add. She's a great speaker. She's a great human being in general. And I think it's awesome that we've got women in food service, especially from like the side where we get greasy fingernails, right? And it's broken fryers and freezers. And, we've got a leader, a representative in Katie Green that's really going to be able to speak into the nuts and bolts of that. Because oftentimes it's really not a fryer or freezer problem, right? It's a financial problem. I mean, you can't sell onion rings if that particular bay of the fryer is not working. So you want to limit the downtime on that bay so that you don't have to eliminate portions of your menu. And I just think her being able to dive into the details of that, in the hour that she's got on stage, I'm just really looking forward to the feedback and the value she'll add there. So it's pretty cool. We think a lot of Katie.
Yeah, I do too. We've definitely done stories with her, and she's been on a podcast that I've done. So yes, I think.
Hey, and I'll shout out Peter Cryan too. He's part of our flagship advisory council at Safesa. We try to gather in a group of varying leaders from different perspectives, much like the approach of your magazine, Allison, and just have almost like a think tank. But trying to grab to-dos and progressive things we can get done together collectively to help push the whole industry better, for everybody to win. So he's a really smart, confident, well-spoken, aggressive human being, just like I like him. So
yeah,
he'll do great.
Fantastic. Allison, is there anything else that you wanted to add?
I would just say, that for service agents, if you'd like to attend, you just go to our website, which is fermag.com. And right at the top there is our banner for Mufas, and you can click on that. And there's a registration button right there if you'd like to sign up and join us. I know you'd meet some good operators. So, and thanks for having me on the show. Yeah,
you bet. Well, you've got that thing come up in about 14 days, 10, 14 days, something like that.
It starts on April 25th, Tuesday, April 25th. So yeah, pretty quickly.
Cool. We'll have Charlie add those details in the little banner below in the comments section. So if anybody wants to jump on that and take advantage of it, hopefully that they will. I mean, I'd like to think even if you got one or two additional attendees from this podcast, it'd be a good use of your time today. So we appreciate you joining as well, and appreciate everything that FER and Mufas does to, help make our industry a better place.
Yes, right back at both of you. Thank you for all you do. I appreciate it.
Hey, one quick plug real quick too, Zolan, as we land the plane, we've got NRA coming up here in a couple of months, and one of our board members, Robert Harris, is very, very passionate about a local fundraiser he's doing there with some inner city families who are just looking to have a place to be safe and to live while they get back on their feet. Many of them have young children. And this ministry that he's doing is called the Renewal Neighborhood Ministry. They're looking to raise money by running a 10K in Chicago. So Charlie's going to drop those details in. If anybody's going to be at NRA and could support that, we'd be grateful. We were making a hard plug for the half marathon, but I think that was running a lot of attendees away. So we're going to walk a 10K. We're going to rein that thing back. We're going to walk. They've got beer at the finish line. So anybody that wants to come, you can walk 6 miles and then drink a beer with us. And just remember, it's for some people who need some help getting back on their feet. I mean, anytime you can be a part of something doing good for families and especially kids, it's an easy way to spend a little bit of money and some time. And also, if there's ever any other Safesa member that's passionate and a part of something that's greater good like that, whether it be a fundraiser or a charity, and you want me and Zolan to try to make a plug for you to spread the word, we'd love for this platform to be just as simple as that too. I mean, if you get, just like Allison, if she gets one person to show up, it was worth her time. If we help one kid have a safe place to sleep for one night, it's worth the 15 seconds for us to mention it here. So please get those to us.
Absolutely. Thank you, Nick. I appreciate you saying that, and
Yes,
big thanks to Robert too for putting that whole thing together, man. And Allison, I echo everything that Nick said. Thank you so much for coming on the show and for everything that you guys do for the industry. Just can't thank you guys enough. It really helps the collective here. So thanks again, everybody, for another successful show. And if you have any feedback, comments, questions, criticism, make sure you let us know. We're open books. And we'd love to hear from everybody with any ideas you have.
Cool. Thanks again, Allison.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks.